People's National Party's Dr. Dayton Campbell is again throwing shade at the PNP's presidential candidate, Lisa Hanna. Dayton Campbell is simply amazed and has delivered some caustic statements about the prospects of having a party leader with a 31-vote majority. People's National Party's former Member of Parliament for Northwest Senan, Dr. Dayton Campbell, firmly believes that an individual who only won her constituency by a majority of 31 votes cannot adequately offer support to defeated candidates in future elections should the person become the party's president. Dr. Dayton Campbell, who is in full support of PNP presidential aspirant Mark Golding in the lead up to the November 7th internal presidential polls, has suggested that the individual should instead focus on rebuilding her constituency in Southeast Senan. This sentiment has been circulating since Lisa Hanna decided to take on the challenge of offering herself for the presidency of the People's National Party. But this is the first time that this opinion is being voiced by Dr. Dayton Campbell. Dr. Dayton Campbell has served as a two-term Member of Parliament for Northwest Senan, and of course he was a critical member of the 2019 Bunting Challenge team. Lisa and Dayton Campbell were on two different sides in September 2019 during that famous Bunting Challenge, where Peter Bunting decided that he wanted to wrestle the presidency from Dr. Peter Phillips. However, the Rise United side with Peter Bunting, Mark Golding, and Dayton Campbell lost to the one PNP side with Dr. Peter Phillips and Lisa Hanna. Of course, it's only natural to note that Dayton Campbell and Lisa Hanna are competitors. And whilst during his statement, Dr. Dayton Campbell did not mention the name of Lisa Hanna, it is clear that he is directing his statement at her. The statement is directly aimed at Lisa Hanna because, of course, she is the parliamentary representative for Southeast Senan, and after the magisterial recount, and even prior to the magisterial recount, she was declared the winner of that seat by only 31 votes. Lisa Hanna is the competitor for Mark Golding for the presidency of the People's National Party. She represents Southeast Senan and is also the Shadow Minister for Foreign Trade and Foreign Affairs. Lisa Hanna was declared winner of the Southeast Senan by a mere margin of 31 votes after the conclusion of a magisterial recount that was requested by Jamaica Labour Party's candidate, Mr. Delroy Granston. Whilst Dayton Campbell was speaking at Mark Golding's presidential campaign meeting, he mentioned that he won Northwest Senan by under 500 votes in the 2016 general elections, and he was told that he would not win the next time around. When I won the election the last time in Northwest Senan, we won by 450 votes, and from the day I won the election, some persons in the PNP have stated that I could not win it again because the margin was too small. Now it seems like they did the right thing because we actually never won it back. Dr. Dayton Campbell was recently defeated by Jamaica Labour Party's candidate, Crystal Lee, in the September 3rd general elections, and therefore is no longer the Member of Parliament for Northwest Senan. Dr. Dayton Campbell went on to further state that despite winning with under 500 votes in 2016, he was still expected to rebuild the constituency. However, the point is that in their minds, they thought that if your margin is below 500, you need to go into the constituency, check out the polling divisions, and monitor each polling division. Check out the electoral divisions, and rebuild the structures within your constituency. He further went on to state that, to my surprise, I am now hearing persons stating that someone who won by 31 votes can be the next president of the People's National Party. To move around the country, to go and help in my constituency in order to win it back. According to Dayton Campbell, the focus should be to move into East Central Senan and Southeast Senan to put in some efforts to ensure that the People's National Party will be able to safely secure a victory in any upcoming general elections. He further went on to state that no one who wins by 31 votes can leave their seats to go and do that. Every single one of us in this room know that if your margin is like that, you need to go back into your constituency and rebuild that constituency. His statement got a round of applause. But despite her meager victory margin in the September 3rd general elections, Lisa Hanna has announced her challenge for the leadership of the People's National Party. She firmly declared at that time that not only is she the person who can lead the party to regain the confidence of everyone, but she is the woman that will be leading the party into the future. She also stated that since the September 3rd polls, she had been actively working with her councillors and other candidates in her constituency. But of course, we all know that what happened was that Lydia Richards has thrown her full support behind Mark Golding's presidential campaign team. Lisa's declaration was that the people of Southeast Senan and her are committed to working together in building bridges and improving their foundation. She further went on to state that she believes that this may serve as a catalyst in improving and transforming the People's National Party, and she mentioned that she must lead by example. Despite those assertions from Lisa Hanna, Dr. Dayton Campbell firmly believes that someone such as Mark Golding, who has a wider margin of victory in his constituency of Southern St. Andrew, is better suited to take on the leadership reins of the opposition People's National Party. He further went on to state, and that is the reason why somebody now who won by a margin of 6,000 votes will be able to get up and come down to my seat to walk with me in my seat so that I can bring back this seat that I lost to Parliament, because I am 37 years old and am quipping that I don't want anybody to call me Father Member of Parliament. I am too young for that. He further added that I don't understand what is taking place in the People's National Party, because we normally reason out things, but because we want to support someone, we throw away reasoning and put that away for some time. If we are using logics to make this decision is easy. You're voting for somebody who can unite the party. You're voting for somebody who believes in organization, somebody who is connected to the society, who can raise money, and who can do this activity and has done this activity before for the People's National Party, and somebody who has the margin in their seat and their constituency so that they can leave their constituency and go to other more vulnerable constituencies to provide some assistance to the weaker constituencies and to build up the PNP's base in those constituencies, and so that they can help to reclaim those seats from the current government. Therefore, I, Dayton Campbell, highly recommend you, Comrade Mark Golding, as the next leader of the People's National Party. These developments that have continued to occur in the People's National Party follows the party's massive defeat to the Jamaica Labour Party in the September 3rd polls, where the Jamaica Labour Party took 49 seats to the People's National Party's 14 seats out of the 63 seats that are available in the House of Representatives. Just a few days later, the President and Opposition Leader, Dr. Peter Phillips, made an announcement that he was going to resign from both of his positions as President of the People's National Party and Opposition Leader to fulfill a promise that he had made on September 3rd, that if he lost at the polls, he would resign from both of his positions. Dr. Peter Phillips is still the holder of both positions in the People's National Party as he awaits the election of the new president of the People's National Party. Dr. Dayton Campbell has been very active on the campaign trail, and he is voicing his opinion that Mark Golding is the best candidate to lead the People's National Party. Of course, he continues to throw shade at Lisa Hanna. He has first started by saying that he is apologizing for the role that he played in the 2019 Bunting Challenge. He further went on to state that the People's National Party is in dire need of someone who can source adequate funding and get adequate support from the private sector in Jamaica. He also stated that the next PNP leader must have adequate financial resources. Now, Dayton Campbell is voicing the opinion of many persons, and this may not have been mentioned by some, but is exactly what they're thinking. He firmly believes that a candidate who was only able to win their seat by a mere 31 votes is not able and should not be the next leader of the People's National Party. Therefore, he believes that Lisa Hanna does not have the necessary skill sets nor the ability to unify the party if she's not able to safely and securely win her Southeast Senate seat with a huge margin. Therefore, in comparison to Mark Golding, who has won his seat by 6,000 votes, Dayton Campbell believes that he is the man for the job. Do you agree with Dayton Campbell?